Hi, welcome back. On this episode, we're going to remove and replace the battery on a Honda Shadow VLX 600. It's a 2007. Don't forget to subscribe, it helps me out a lot. Let's try to reach 1,000 subscribers. Also, check me out on Instagram at Cloud Garage. Let's get started. Alright, so this is our Honda Shadow. It's my wife's Honda Shadow. It's a little 600 4-speed, pretty awesome bike. So we're going to remove the battery. The battery is not holding a charge anymore. If I charge it up, I can ride it for a day or two. Then if it sits for a week and a half, 2 weeks, it won't start anymore. It will roll over once, and if it doesn't fire that first time rolling over, then it just doesn't have enough juice anymore. So we're going to pull the battery out and put it back in. And if you need to boost your bike, it's also very similar, or if you want to put a trickle charger on it without pulling the battery all the way out. So when I'm pulling the everything apart, I'll go over where you would do that as well. Alright, so first thing we're going to do is we're on the right hand side of the bike, and we got to get this Honda cover out of our way. So there's no hardware holding it on, it's just clips. So you just put your hand on it and pull. So there's a clip there and a clip there, and they're kind of mushroom shaped, and then they go into rubber, and that's what holds the cover on. So then, still on the right hand side of the bike, we need to get our fuse box and everything out of the way to access the battery. So right here's our fuse box. We got that screw or bolt right there, and then behind this connector we got another bolt right there, and once we get that out, that fuse box will come out of our way. There's one out. Now we'll get the other one out. There's a little washer that I drop. I always drop it every time, so I just always have my magnet with me to grab it. And now we're able to pull our fuse box out of the way, and we can just flip that up on top of the seat. And with that out of the way, now we can reach this side of the battery. There's no straps or anything holding it on, it was just that cover. But we're going to go to the other side of the bike now, and we're going to get that kind of undone, and then we can pull this out the rest of the way. Alright, now we're on the left hand side of the bike, and we got to pull our cover off, and it's the same thing, so we're just going to grab it and gently tug out. Same thing, your clip is right here and right here. Alright, it's hard to see, but that bolt right there, that's the negative on our battery. So if you were broke down on the side of the road or in a parking lot because you needed a boost, that's where the negative is. You should be able to ground somewhere else on the frame, but it's still a pain, and it's a pain to get to for doing this. Alright, so now we're going to take our negative post off. So I've tried sliding the battery out, because it seems like that cable would probably be long enough to reach all the way. But it always seems to kind of get stuck, and I don't want to force it and accidentally break something. So I'm going to take it off here. It's a pain, but you can do it. So I'm using a 10 mil, and I put a universal on here. I have some electrical tape on it, makes it a little bit stiffer. Alright, there's our bolt that'll be holding our negative lead on, so it's just a 10 mil. And now we're going to go back to the other side and we'll get that lead off and the battery right out. Alright, now we should be able to pull our battery out towards us. And now we can take our positive lead off. And I'd like to point out, since we have our negative lead off the battery, if we accidentally hit anything metal with our positive lead, it won't do anything because there's no circuit to complete. So if I go right on there, there's no circuit. But if the negative lead was still hooked up on the battery, and I did that, it'd be sparks everywhere, and it'd be really bad. So if you disconnect your negative lead first, if you accidentally hit something with your positive, it's okay. But if you do your positive before your negative, you're more likely, if you slip with something, you'll throw sparks. Alright, so now we got that out, so now we should be able to just slide this battery the rest of the way out. There it is there. So the battery that was in here, it's a YTZ100S. So I need to pick up a new one. Alright, now we're going to put the new battery back in. So it's the exact same thing but reversed. So we want to make sure before we slide the battery in, at least on the negative side, that we already have our nut inside the battery post, because it would be almost impossible to get in once it's in the bike. And another thing I'd like to point out, if you're shopping for batteries and you want to go with something different than what was OEM, make sure that the posts are oriented on the same side and that the battery is physically the same size as well to make sure everything fits properly. So now we're going to slide our battery back in. And now we'll be able to put our positive lead back on. So there's that. Make sure shoved in all the way. And since we're already over here, we'll get our fuse box and everything installed as well. And then we're done on this side of the bike. So we have this little clip down on the bottom that slips down here. So right down there, there's a groove. And that's for this clip right here to slip on, and then we just got our 2 bolts on the top to put on. So I like to start both bolts before I tighten it up. And I also shoved a little chunk of paper towel in here just to keep the bolt sticking out a little bit further, just so it's easier to start. Alright, so there's that, and now we'll put our cover on. And our cover is the same thing as taking it off, except in reverse. So we're going to line up our 2 clips, and then we're just going to gently push it on. You can kind of feel when it's in the right spot, and then just a firm little push. I usually use the palm of my hands. And that cover is on, and now we can go to the other side. Alright, everything's kind of looks like it's lined up already. So we're just going to drop our bolt down and get it done. So I wrapped a little piece of paper around the head of the bolt and then shoved it in so I can turn this upside down. Sometimes I'll use a dab of grease or whatever too. This time I decided to use a piece of paper. And then I'll get this down, I'll get it started, and then I'll pull the socket off of the bolt, make sure I get my paper out, and then tighten it down because I don't want any paper in my connection. But this is a clean, easy way to get it started. Alright, now the negative is connected, and our last step is to put our cover back on. Same thing, we're going to line up our tabs and then just push it in with our palms. There's one there, and then just push. And then that's it. Then you just want to test out your bike to make sure that everything works. We got power. That sometimes when you get a battery, you have to charge it up yourself, or they say that you should do a complete charge on it. Other times they say they're good out of the box, so I usually just put it in and go for a ride. I hope you found this helpful. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. Let's hit that 1,000 subscribers plus sooner than later. It helps me out, so it's a big thanks to everybody that subscribes. Don't forget to check me out on Instagram at Clara Garage. Have a great night.